Alright, this video responses to a friend I was talking with a few days ago, and if you're watching this, I'm happy to have you watch this. This is, you bring up the idea of government mandatory contraceptives for 16-year-old, that you would give to like 16-year-old girls that would make it so that they won't be able to get pregnant, and it would dissolve for like after 5 or 6 years. And I'm gonna straight up tell you the problems with this idea. It's like I said in my prior video, I don't think there's any bad ideas. I just think that there's bad practices, but then when you have ideas that are flawed, they will be bad practices, and this idea is flawed in many different ways. I'm pointing out the flaws to you. One is that, okay, so you say that there's this mandatory all women, all girls 16 years old, when you're governor or whatever, that they would have to wear these contraceptive things that you would put up the uterus to ensure that they do not get pregnant. And I know that you're arguing for the effect. You want unplanned, you don't want teen pregnancy anymore. Totally got that, totally understand that. There's just a lot of errors in this idea, and I'll kind of point them out. One is, just as nature has it, that every type of pill or prescription or somewhere down the line, there's no one size fits all for the human body. There's problems with the H1N1 virus, the swine flu virus, vaccination that's you can check out on Wikipedia. It has side effects of nausea, dizziness, headache, vomiting, hives, difficulty breathing, skin rashes, and there's no medicine is completely 100% safe, but if people have a choice whether to use it or not, then that's a totally different story, because then they can look in their own medical histories and figure out whether that's good for them, rather than a government program that mandates that all people should use this contraceptive, and you're in that case always going to have, at least to some extent, even if you make it really safe, you're always going to have some people that get this unseen side effects. Another is, this is a really interesting point I thought out, was like, both you and I agree that there should be no government, forcing marijuana laws on people, that if you smoke marijuana, you have the right to smoke marijuana. The "it's my body" argument, I think is valid, because if you don't have ownership of your body, what do you have ownership of? So, but this is, even more unnerving than marijuana law, because when you say to someone, you can do anything, just don't do this, it's a lot less tyrannical than say everybody has to do this with their body. And I mean, we know the cost and the effects of the drug war. There's millions of people in prison that don't need to be there. There's foreign skirmishes where people in other countries are being killed or slaughtered because of this black market, and billions of tax dollars going into this. Now, if you're gonna say what someone should be put into their body, that's a really scary thing, that people would have to, rather than anything but this. Another is just the conclusion that at 16 years old you can't make a decision for yourself, rather than what draws the line? Like, why 16? Why not 18? Why not yeah, are you any more mature at 15 and 364 days than you are at 16? Or if you're going to make this decision that people, you want to prevent contraceptives, and there's a lot of stupid people that are like 20, then, but then that thing would have dissolved by then. So, why not make it for 20-year-olds? Or why not make it for 11-year-olds if there's, that's the youngest age where someone could biologically get pregnant? And it goes into the black market. It's, what about the woman that, if you say 16 to 22, what if there's a woman that just wants to be a stay-at-home mom and have a family and, not work, and the family situation's figured out as such, and they, want to start a family? Why should they have to wait for this thing to dissolve? And another, this would lead to, kind of like medical tourism. Is you've got your people that go around the world trying to find cures for diseases that if we had a free market in the medical services, we wouldn't have this, because people would just all come to America for our medical services, or people would all just go to whatever country's free, and you wouldn't have this medical tourism. You'd have, people would cross state boundaries in order to get this device removed. And just thinking of the black market implications of people that would want to be mothers or would want to, be pregnant in this situation. I mean, again, compared to the war on drugs, these people, there's anyone that wants marijuana can get it. And even in prisons where you'd think, you have as many authoritarian guards to the person, way more than in normal society, and they still get drugs in. So this would create a black market in which people, as a result, would get hurt. And what it ultimately is, it's this using government to solve your social ills. Like I'm doing, I'm providing some philosophical ideas, bringing that to the table. I don't really care for libertarians that aren't philosophical, that just like the LP party people, or without like thinking ideas through and just assuming conclusions. But if you're going to be a governor and make a law and force your will upon people, there's going to be consequences. And I can't give any like hard fast one size fits all solution to the problem of unwanted pregnancy and teen mommies and daddies. But there's a number of things that I think could work out to the betterment of the situation. One would be to abolish welfare as we now know it. I mean, there'd still be charities giving welfare, but it's this welfare state where you have so many stay-at-home moms in the structure of this society where you have many one-parent households. There is an economic element in the equation where you would have, if you write a bill that says that single-parent families can have Section 8 housing that pays for $100 a month pays for your housing, and you apply for that program, and that sounds all well and good, but then that doesn't provide economic incentive for dad to stay around, so the dad leaves, and then the family's unbalanced because running a family with one person is very hard to do. And you look at Section 8 housing, well, that just if all these houses are going to cost $100, you got to raise the price for the non-Section 8 housing, which is going to it's going to cost people that aren't immediately affected by the law. It's going to cause inflation on their part. You've got stuff like one thing that we could do is stop encouraging both young men and women to have sex. Like, you have to lose your virginity by age X or you're a loser. I think that's really lame. It's a biological need. There's no need to shame people for the fact that they don't have sex. And just treating sex as a forbidden thing, and this is what religion does to people. It shames people out of their sexuality, out of what's natural. If we could have more, you know, talk about sex, porn, masturbation, and have open and frank talks about this, people won't be shamed and they won't have to feel like they need to or feel like they hide it or compulsion. And another thing would be to stop shaming abortion. My time's running out, so I'm going to end it now.